Some years ago in Florida, the St. Petersburg Times carried a very interesting story about Don Shula, the former head coach of the professional football team, Miami Dolphins, who were undefeated in 72-73 and won the Super Bowl, the only undefeated team to win the Super Bowl. Shula will be remembered for that. So Shula was vacationing with his family in a small town in northern Maine after they won the Super Bowl that year. One afternoon it was raining, so Shula, his wife, and 5 children decided to attend a matinee movie in the small town's only theater. Now when they arrived, the house lights were still on in the theater. There were only 6 people present for the showing of this movie. When Don Shula and his entire family of 6 walked in, all 6 people in the theater stood up and gave the Shula family a standing ovation. Shula waved and smiled at the small group. Now Shula sat down. He turned to his wife and said, "We are 1,000 miles from Miami, and they're giving me a standing ovation in this small town here in northern Maine. They must get the Miami Dolphins football games on television way up here in Maine." So the man then came up to Don Shula to shake Don Shula's hand. Shula beamed and said, "How did you recognize me as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins?" The man replied, "Mister, I don't have a clue who you are. All I know is this, that just before you and your family walked in, the theater manager told us that unless 4 more people showed up, we wouldn't have a movie today." We listened in today's first reading from Sirach. "My children, conduct your affairs with humility, and you will be loved more than a giver of gifts. Always humble yourself." You know, life has a way of keeping us humble. We need to be able to not only take life too seriously, we also be able at times to laugh at ourselves. You know, when we are young, we have dreams of where life will take us as we grow older. We have moved down roads we never dreamed about, some good and not some too good at all. But the beautiful line is this: life is what happened while I was making other plans. Life is what happened while I was making other plans. We are not put on this earth to see through one another, but rather to see one another through. Life is a gift. Life is a gift always given from God. Be humble.